Grandpa. Are you happy?
I've lived 92 years, did everything right, and still I couldn't answer. Because for the first time, I had to face something terrifying. I built a life, but I never knew if it was mine. Grew up in the Midwest, a place where life didn't ask who you wanted to be. It showed you who to become. My father didn't talk much. He didn't need to. The way he lived was enough. Work hard, stay steady, don't complain. That wasn't advice. It was just the way things were done. I don't remember ever asking myself, what do I want? I only remember knowing what came next. School, work, a steady paycheck, a family, step by step. No confusion, no hesitation. I got a job that made sense. Not exciting, not impressive, but dependable. The kind of job that pays the bills, the kind that people trust. I stayed there nearly 40 years. Same company, same routine, same road every morning. And the truth is, I didn't mind it. People said I was a good man, a reliable husband, a responsible father. I showed up. I did what I was supposed to do. I didn't take risks. I didn't make trouble. I stayed where I was needed. And for a long time, that felt like enough. There's something that happens when you live like that long enough. You stop noticing the difference between what you chose and what you simply accepted. I can't point to a moment where I decided this would be my life. No clear choice, no turning point. It just happened, one reasonable step after another. And before I realized it, I had built a life that looked exactly right. Stable, respectable, safe. From the outside, there was nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing to question. But looking back now, I see what I couldn't see then. I never actually chose it. I stepped into it, and I stayed. I didn't choose my life. I followed it. And for a long time, I believed that was the same thing. Until I started remembering the things I told myself I'd get to later. Till I started remembering the things I told myself I'd get to later. It wasn't a sudden realization. Not a single moment where everything became clear. It came back slowly, in pieces, a sound. The memory of a guitar I used to play when I was younger. I wasn't extraordinary, but I was alive when I played. Time moved differently back then. An hour could pass and feel like minutes. Someone once told me I should take it seriously, that I had something. I laughed it off, said, maybe someday. Someday. That word followed me for a long time. There was someone too. This was before everything settled into what people would call a good life. She wanted more, not more money, not more comfort, just more life. More places, more uncertainty, more possibility. She asked me once, "Don't you ever wonder what else is out there?" I did. I just didn't say it out loud. When it came time to choose, I told her what I had been telling myself all along. It's not practical. She didn't argue. She just looked at me like she already knew. And then she left. I stayed. At the time, it didn't feel like loss. It felt like maturity, like I had made the right decision, the responsible one. And life kept moving, the way it always does. More work, more responsibilities, more reasons to stay where I was. The guitar found its way into the garage. The idea of leaving became something I thought about less and less, and someday quietly changed its meaning. First, it meant not right now. Then it meant maybe later. And eventually, it meant nothing at all. That's the thing about time. It doesn't argue with you. You tell yourself there will be more of it, and it simply keeps going. No warnings, no questions, no moment where it stops and asks if you're sure. It just lets you continue. And I did. For years, for decades. Every time I chose what made sense, what was safe, what was expected, I told myself the same thing, quietly, almost without thinking. There will be time, and for a long while, time never disagreed, until one day it did. Until one day it did. Not loudly, not in a way anyone else could see, just a quiet shift. I started noticing something I had never questioned before. The way I lived my life wasn't accidental. It was built on what I believed. I believed that stability mattered more than passion, that responsibility came before desire, that a man's job was to provide, not to wonder. And to be fair, those beliefs weren't wrong. They built a life, a steady one, a respectable one. But they also did something else. Something I didn't see at the time. They made every decision for me before I even had to make it. Every time I felt the pull towards something uncertain, something different, there was already an answer waiting. That's not practical. It sounded reasonable. It felt responsible. It kept everything under control. And slowly, I stopped hearing anything else. I stopped asking what I wanted, because I already knew what I was supposed to choose. That's the part people don't talk about. No one forced me. No one told me I couldn't leave. No one took anything away from me. I had the freedom. That's what makes it harder to admit. I had the freedom to choose. I just didn't think I was supposed to use it. And when you live like that long enough, you don't feel trapped. You feel correct. You feel like you're doing exactly what you should. And when everything looks right from the outside, you stop looking any deeper until something small breaks that pattern. A question, a memory, a moment that doesn't fit the life you built. And suddenly, you're not as certain as you used to be, because for the first time, you're not asking, is this the right thing to do? You're asking something else. Was it ever mine? Was it ever mine? That question stayed with me. It didn't go away. It followed me into quiet moments, into the spaces where there was nothing left to distract me. I found myself walking into the garage one afternoon, not for anything in particular, just walking. The light was different in there, dim still, like time had been sitting in the same place for years. And then I saw it. The guitar, right where I had left it. I picked it up, slowly, carefully, like it belonged to someone else. The wood felt dry, the strings were dull, out of tune. I ran my fingers across the metal anyway. The sound wasn't right, but something else was. My hands still remembered, and for a moment, just a brief moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in a very long time. Not regret, not yet. Something closer to recognition, like meeting a version of myself I hadn't seen in decades. And then, just as quickly, it was gone, because reality came back. The years, the choice, the distance between who I was and who I might have been. I set the guitar down, and that's when it hit me. Not all at once, but enough. I had been telling myself the same thing my entire life. There will be time. Time to try, time to leave, time to become something else. And time never argued. It let me believe that. Year after year, decision after decision, until one day it didn't. Because suddenly there wasn't as much of it left. Not enough for later to mean anything anymore. And that's when I understood what I'd been doing all along. I wasn't choosing safety. I was postponing myself for a future that kept moving further away. And the hardest part wasn't what I lost. It was what I could no longer find. I stood there in that garage, holding a life I didn't live. And for the first time, I couldn't tell you who I might have been. That was the moment something inside me finally gave way. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough to make the truth impossible to ignore. Just enough to make the truth impossible to ignore. And then I was back on the porch. The same quiet afternoon, the same still air, the same cup of tea gone cold beside me, and my granddaughter still waiting. She hadn't rushed me, hadn't repeated the question. She just sat there, looking at me like the answer mattered. "Grandpa, are you happy?" I opened my mouth. For a moment, I almost said what I'd always said. Yes. It would have been easy. It would have been correct, but something in me wouldn't let me. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't answering for someone else. I was answering for myself. And I didn't know how to lie about that. So I took a breath, looked at her, really looked at her, and I said, "I think I lived a good life." I paused, not because I was unsure, but because I was finally being honest. But I'm not sure it was ever really mine. She didn't interrupt, didn't react, just listened. And that gave me the courage to say the part I'd never said out loud. I kept thinking there would be time for all the things I set aside. And somehow, time kept agreeing with me. I let out a small breath, almost a laugh, until it didn't. The wind moved gently through the porch again. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I looked at her and said, "So, if you ever have to choose..." I stopped, made sure she was really listening. "Don't just build a life that looks right. Build one that feels like yours." She nodded, slowly, like she understood more than I expected. And something inside me shifted. Not regret, not exactly. Something quieter than that. Maybe acceptance. Because even though I couldn't change the life I had lived, I could still tell the truth about it. And maybe that was enough to give her a different one. The sun was starting to set. The light softer now. And for the first time in a long while, I didn't feel like I was running out of time. I just sat there, finally not waiting for later. Some lives look perfect from the outside, steady, safe, respected. But the quiet question remains, did it ever feel like yours? If this story stayed with you, maybe it's worth asking yourself, not someday, not later, but now. And if someone you love needs this reminder, share it with them. before time answers for you.